Hello, everyone. Welcome to my last Celebration Sunday. I cannot even believe that Celebration is over this Monday. For those of you who have taken advantage of Celebration, I hope you guys are enjoying your free products. And for those of you who haven't, you have today and tomorrow to get in on the deal. So I'll give you a quick rundown on what that deal is while we wait for people to pop on here. So basically, Celebration is a time of year when Stampin' Up! Rewards you for shopping. Every $60 purchase gets you the opportunity to choose one of the Celebration items from our catalog. And there's a whole bunch of really nice stuff. Hi, Jacqueline. Cute stamp sets, beautiful designer series paper. And then for a $120 order, they have some bundles, stamp set with DSP or some larger stamp sets. And so that's actually what I am going to kind of show today is one of the $120 bundles called Friendly Hello. And the paper is beautiful, the stamp set is beautiful, and it's one that I'll be using for a long time, even after Celebration finishes up. So that's kind of what Celebration is about from a customer standpoint. There's two other ways to take advantage of Celebration. One of those is to host a party or place a really big order. At $375, I believe it is, there's a free stamp set that people can earn called Calming Camellias, and it's quite beautiful. And that's for our hostesses during Celebration. And then finally, joining my team is the third way that you can kind of take part in Celebration. And that basically is a $135 order, gets you $165 worth of product plus 2 stamp sets of your choice out of any of our catalogs. So that is Stampin' Up! Celebration in a nutshell. And yeah, that's about it. So I've been focusing on the customer side and the beautiful products that you guys can earn. And so today I'm going to show you the Friendly Hello bundle. So it's a stamp set and designer series paper. So I'm going to remove my face here and let you guys focus in on my desktop, and we're going to get started creating. All right, here we go. Just a sip of coffee first. We got the pineapples and the marble. The Simply Marvelous paper is gorgeous. I love it. All right, just needed a quick little caffeine, and here we go. So the stamp set. Wow, it's just these beautiful line drawings, simple and beautiful. You can leave them plain and just stamp them in ink and let them stand on their own, or you can stamp them and color them in, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. And the fonts in the sentiments are beautiful. I've actually used this Hello Friend with so many different stamp sets, not just with these images. It's one of my favorites. So here we go. We've got our designer series paper as well. One side is like a lot of floral pattern that matches up with that stamp set. I think I actually created with this one for you guys using a different stamp set a while back. And so we've got florals on one side, and then the other side, some of them are florals, and then some of them are kind of more solid colors. And there's one in here that's these awesome fun, oh, there we go. And then there's some super fun stripes. And one thing that I love about this paper, oh, and then the beautiful fresh freesia dots. One thing I love about this paper is that they've gone and done the black line drawings right on top of the soft, beautiful colors. And it's just a really nice way to use this paper. I really love the color combos. You managed to get all the Celebration products. Wow, way to go, Jacqueline. Now you got to do a lot of crafting to use all that up. So for today's card, I wanted to show you guys, this is kind of a fun new fold that I discovered, and I think it was Rhonda Wade that I saw this from, but I'm not entirely positive. But I think it's my new favorite fold. I just used it this past weekend in my Flowering Tulips card class. We're using it in my upcoming birthday card club class. And I want to show it to you guys today because it is just a great way to use and show off designer series paper. And it's just so beautiful. So I cannot wait. So what you do is you start with a card base that is 4 by 5.5. So just your standard card front, except there's no like card back to it. It's just a single sheet of cardstock. Then you want to have a piece of designer series paper, that preferably one that you like both sides. And I do find that it helps that one side doesn't have an orientation. Like sometimes things will have pictures that have to go a certain way to look right. As long as both sides aren't like that, this card works really well. So what I've done is I've cut it, and this one, luckily for me, neither side has an orientation, so yay. So with this one, I'm going to need to open this because I need my full 11 inches. I don't know why. I always hold this upside down. There we go. So I need to trim this down. So it's actually cut at 5 1/4. You'll see, I'm just going to double check that I did this at 5 1/4. Yeah. So 5 1/4, and then it needs to be by 11. And that part I did not do. So you can keep this cute little piece and use this to decorate something else. Now, with it cut at 5 1/4 by 11, my next job is to do a bunch of scoring on this guy. And so, let's see, I'm going to score it at 7. And so do not use your cutting blade. Make sure you're using your scoring blade. 7, 5 1/4, 1 and, oh, no, 1 and, so 3 1/2. Let's do these in order. I won't get messed up. 3 1/2 and 1 3/4. Now I'm doing this by memory. That's how many of these I've made recently. So there we go. So I've got that scored. So it's a lot of scoring. Because we're going to now do a lot of folding, and you're going to want to have a bone folder for this part so that you get a really nice crease. So our first score was over here at 7 inches, or I guess if you're coming at it from the other way, at 4 inches. Because what we want to create is a 4-inch piece that's going to layer down nicely onto our card base. And then our next fold, there we go. And really, getting a nice crease in here so that this card doesn't like stand up too tall. And then another fold, and we're basically creating a little accordion here. And then another fold back. There we go. And really make sure. So now what we've got, oh, good morning, Joanne. We've got this fun little folded card here, and when it puts down onto our card base, it looks like this. So it's still all completely contained into a regular card size. With that done, we are going to actually adhere this to our card base. So I personally like to use liquid glue, but you guys can use whatever you would like. You do want a fairly strong adhesive because there's a lot of weight to this. You just put half a sheet of DSP onto your card front. So I would recommend like Seal Plus or Tear and Tape or good old liquid glue. Although it's got that movement in the beginning, its hold once it dries is really strong. So here we go. And try and line this up. There we go. That's why I like the liquid glue, because I don't have to put it down completely straight. I can wiggle it around. And then I do know that it will have the very strong hold in just a matter of minutes. All right, so again, I used a piece of paper that really doesn't have an orientation. If you were using it with an orientation, you'd want to make sure, of course, that you did your score lines and everything so that it would lay properly on your card. So now I've got this cute little accordion here. So the next thing that we're going to do to put this card together is I have a coordinating piece. Now it might be the same as your background, it might be different, but I have a coordinating piece of cardstock that is 7 by 3.5, and it's scored at 3.5. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the 2 inside flaps just out at the edges. And for this one, I am going to use Seal Plus or Tear and Tape because I want it to be not wiggly and not moving around on me. All right, so that's on the inside. I've got adhesive on both sides. I'm going to open this up and try and center this as best I can. So top to bottom, side to side, and even like give it a little looky-loo. What will it look like once it's closed? Oops, don't move it all around on yourself. Okay, that looks good. So with that like that, got that straight along that edge. I am now going to close, oh, don't let it get crooked. So line it all up, and then I'm going to close my accordion on it, and then I'm going to close that down on top of my accordion. So now my card is secured. So there we go. We've got that created. So our card base is almost built. It's a little bit more complicated in that regard, but then a lot of fun decorating. So now I've taken the same designer series paper, but I'm using the other side this time. And it's cut down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I am just going to glue that right down on there as like kind of a beautiful little background for all the decorating that we're going to do. Promise you, we will use the stamp set. Just trying to create our platform. You need a good foundation for your card, right? So this is going to be our beautiful platform, our beautiful foundation for our card using this awesome designer series paper. All right, so there we have it. Now I can set that whole little piece off to the side and we can get started with some stamping. We've got a lot of places that need decorating now. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat and some scraps to work with. So this is just like literally a torn scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to grab the bird image from our stamp set, that beautiful bird sitting on the flowers. Thanks, Jacqueline. And I'm going to ink this up with Memento black ink. And it doesn't really matter where I stamp this on this scrap piece of paper because I am going to be fussy cutting it. So I'm just going to try and use up the most paper, or use my paper the most efficiently so I have a space to do more of this kind of thing. I like to keep scraps like this on my desk, just so that I can have something quick and easy to do, something I want to do some fussy cutting. All right, so now I have a full color palette. Well, not full color palette. I've got 3 colors. I have Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, and Pool Party. This is Pool Party, right? Yeah, Pool Party. Are the Stampin' blends that I'm going to use today. Oh, thanks, Joanne. When I saw this fun fold, I was just like, I'm in love. I've made so many of these cards with so many different DSPs. It's amazing. So I've got, Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, and Pool Party. Now, I didn't really want to talk about this till next month, but it's just weighing on my brain because next month is in 2 days. Misty Moonlight, I can't even say it, is retiring, you guys. It's one of our in colors, and they only stick around for 2 years. And then I sure do hope it comes back in a color refresh, but it's going to be gone. So if you love our in colors from 2 years ago that are still in our catalog, that's the Bumblebee, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, and Cinnamon Cider. May, they'll be gone. In fact, I would suspect in April they'll be gone because once they sell out, they're sold out. So if you don't have these blends, or if you have a set but you use them a lot, you might want to grab yourself a replacement. So I am using it because it goes so well with the colors in this DSP. And so I'm using the dark one right now just to kind of go over some spots on his wing and his feather. And that is about it. Then I'm going to come in with the paintbrush tip of my light one, and I'm going to try and avoid his eye so that I keep that little white speck in the middle of his eye. And I'm going to color right over top of the dark that I did, as well as all the rest of them. And then I'm going to do a few extra passes over his wing and the top of his head, just to give a little bit more deepness to the color there, but I'm going to let his belly stay light. There we go. All right, and then even maybe a bit more over his wing. All right, so that is our Bumblebee was out, and you think Misty Moonlight. Yeah, so you know they'll come back in, Jacqueline, one more time, I'm sure, before we sell out. But definitely grab your re-inkers when they do. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, I'm so jealous that you're in sunny Arizona. I am in back to normal, very rainy Vancouver. Well, not Vancouver, but just outside of Vancouver. And our rain has returned. All right, so that's my beautiful bird, and it's just the 2 tones of Misty Moonlight that I've used to color him, and he just has like so much dimension to him. I love these blends for this. Now, his branch, I was really tempted to go with Granny Apple because there is some Granny Apple in this DSP, but because I'm not really focusing on one like that, and I've got this really softer palette, and I've used the Pool Party for my backgrounds, I'm actually going to do his leaves in Dark Pool Party. His stem that he's sitting on, as well as his leaves. And I just didn't want to add in too many colors, and especially not a color like Granny Apple that can be so bright and really distract the eye. So I'm just coloring in the veins on the leaves and the stem in Dark Pool Party. And then our flowers, I couldn't resist, Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to give them a once over. Oh, come on. There we go. My hands are not always the best in the mornings, and this morning opening these is a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to do a once over on both flowers with our light Fresh Freesia and the paintbrush tip. There we go. And then I'm going to use also the paintbrush tip. I don't want it to be too specific here, and I'm just going to come in over top of those lines and add in and in the center. And if you find that this really blends well with the background and the starkness of it disappears, you can go in and give it a second coat and just keep layering that in to get the darkness that you are looking for. So just like I did with the bird, where I went over his wings a couple times, I can go over the centers of these flowers a couple times to just keep increasing the darkness. There we go. Awesome. So those are finished. So now that we've got that all colored in, I am actually going to do just a bit more stamping since I have my paper here, or my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I am going to bring in a scrap piece of paper. So let me just reach over here and grab one. All right, so the reason I'm going to bring in a scrap is because I am going to just stamp off the edges a little bit here. So I'm going to grab my Pool Party ink and the beautiful little leaves from this. And these 2 pieces are going on the inside of my card. And so I'm going to create just kind of a tiny, oh, look at that. I didn't even go off the page with that one. Didn't need the mat. I'm going to create just a tiny little frame here where one's at the bottom and one's at the top. And actually, I might just add a little bit more to this and just add in another little, frame it up just a little bit more. So that's just super simple, and those are going to go on the inside of our card as a place to write. And actually, while I've got that out, I'm going to grab an envelope as well and just do a little bit of that on my envelope. Just, I don't want to put the bird on the envelope and kind of spoil the surprise. So I'm just going to do a little bit of greenery here on the front of our envelope, just as a little bit of interest to our envelope. Okay, so with that done, I am now going to grab my scissors and put this away for a few minutes. We have one more thing to stamp. We need a sentiment, but I can't do that until I know exactly where my bird's going to go. So we need to cut this little guy out. So here we go. Do a little bit of fussy cutting. And yeah, while I'm fussy cutting, I'll just do a little bit of chatting with you. So Sale-a-bration is coming to an end, which is very sad. But you can still get in on it, and you know, don't wait to the last second because things might be gone. But then I wanted to let you know that March is going to be a super exciting month as well. I have a few classes coming up, and I still have some spots in them. Well, in one of them I just advertised, so I have a lot of spots left in it. I've got a Cactus Cuties card class coming up in March, and the deadline to register for that is actually tomorrow. So if that sweet little set is something that interests you, you know, reach out to me or go to my link tree and find the link for it and sign up for that. And then I also have just announced a Waves of the Ocean stamp camp. Now, that event actually won't happen until April 2nd, but we're already selling spots to it, and we'll sell right through to March 18th. However, I don't suggest you wait that long because some of the items that we're going to be using are time limited. They're not in a catalog and they won't ever be in a catalog. And so I would suggest ordering early, contacting me before March 1st, before Tuesday, and letting me know that you want in just to guarantee that you'll be able to get the materials. And so that's just a little bit of what's happening. You can always see all of my events on my website, leahdixon.stampinup.net, or on my blog, or on my link tree. So lots of places to find out what's going on, or just send me a message and say, hey, what do you have going on? And I'll send you a list. All right, so thank you for being patient with me while I did that fussy cutting. We're now going to attach this little guy. Oh, good morning, Shirley. We're going to attach this little guy to our card front, but we need to be really careful because I don't want him going off my card front. I want him to fit nicely into our envelope. So we kind of have to position everything just right. So this label is actually going to go quite far over. And then when we put him down, there we go. He's not going to go off. And then I also need to make sure that I have enough space for my birthday sentiment. And the biggest part of that is just angling these flowers correctly. So I need to angle them up a bit so that I have more space for my birthday sentiment. There we go. And now I'm going to hold him in place. Oh, I should have brought them closer to me. Oh, there we go. I'm going to hold him in place while I grab a dimensional and pop it behind. Oh, come on. Now, if I was smart, I probably would have just put the dimensionals on first and then just be peeling the backing off. There we go. Now that I've got one on there, this should be pretty secure, but I'm going to do the second one just to be sure. There we go. So now that is where I want it, and I can move it around and get in here and put another dimensional under his little body. There we go. So it's a little bit of a fussy, you know, get it exactly right. And then I'm going to come in with that Misty Moonlight and my sentiment. And I'm going to stamp my happy birthday on here, right down low. There we go. So we've got that on there. And now I can start putting the rest of the pieces together Oh, I'm so glad you're going to the Wave Stamp Camp, Jacqueline. That's going to be such a good one. All right, so now that I've got that done, we can put the rest of this card together. And there's a few tips and tricks to this. And I actually have to thank one of my customers, Eva, for catching me on to this idea. So first things first, we're going to put down our sentiment on the front. And I'm just going to glue them on. And I'm going to glue them a little bit low. And you can, decide if you want them centered or up high or down low or whatever. I just figured I'm putting them all the way off to the side. I'm also going to put them down just a little bit. So just, again, really important that your label is going to stay on the card and your bird is going to stay on the card. Okay, so we've got that glued on. Now we've stamped those two inside pieces. So I'm going to grab one of them and glue it in as well. Now this one's very easy to glue in because we're just centering it on our piece of pool party that we have here. But now my second piece I want here, and I want it to be hidden. And so this was the cool little trick that I learned yesterday, is to take a sticky note, fold it in half so your sticky side is on the outside. I've got sticky here and sticky here. And put it down on top of this piece. Now I want this piece to be like that, so I'll flip it over and I'll line it up. And now, so it's perfectly on top of the piece that I want. I'm going to add my adhesive now. And close my card. With that done, I can come in here and peel away that sticky note. Save that for another card. And my two pieces are perfectly lined up inside my card now. Isn't that a fabulous tip? So that is almost done. We have our embellishments to add to this. And I am going to use the absolutely beautiful polished dots. So what I love about them is the two tones that they come in. They come in the clear and then like the pale papaya, blushing bride, or whatever it looks like to you, but that very nice light orangish pink. And so first things first, I am going to finish off my flowers, each with one of the larger pink ones in the center. There we go. And then I'm going to scatter some of these smaller ones around the front of my card and create some interest that way. And there we go. And maybe throw one down here. So there you have it. We've got that decorated with the polished dots and just a little bit of fun on there. So that is our finished card, and it's just such a stunning fold. Oh, the iridescent rhinestones. Yes, those are gorgeous too. So I wanted to keep a very pastel-y look. And so there is the shape of our finished card. Creates kind of a very unique shape when you're standing it up. And then it all folds down nicely and fits right into our standard envelope, our standard medium envelope. So that is my Sale-a-bration card for you guys today. That's our Friendly Hello stamp set that you can grab with a $120 purchase. So yeah, there you have it. Oh, thank you, Gloria. Yeah, it's always nice to craft with other people because they can share so many great ideas. So that came from one of my customers, Eva. Oh, hi, Janet. Yes, that fold again. I know. I just can't get enough of it. So let's see here if I can go back to my double screen. There we go. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining me for my final Sale-a-bration Sunday. And Yeah, I can't wait to have the next kind of big event going on to give me a focus for these Sunday mornings. I'm going to discuss with my family how me being busy on Sunday mornings went for them. And you may find me back here on a Sunday morning with a new series. I'll make an event for it if that's going to happen. So thank you so much, everyone. You can always still find me Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. I do a regular Facebook Live after I shoo everybody out to school. It's my day off, so um, I always am live on Wednesday mornings. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And check out those celebration items. Don't miss out on something spectacular. And there is a lot of spectacular stuff in there. Bye, everyone.